So here are these little Brussels sprout plants. I have never grown these before, but I have this area here beside the house, and it is normally what I've been using this for has been for all of my jalapenos. It's now October, and so I'm going to try to plant these right here and just see what they do, and we'll keep an eye on them. So I have these planted, and here are our Brussels sprouts. This is 3 weeks. Here are our Brussels sprouts at about between 7 and 8 weeks. And these plants, look at them. These plants are looking beautiful. 7-week Brussels sprouts. And they keep telling me that something's going to come up from the middle here. And I do not see a stalk yet coming up in the middle. But we'll keep an eye on them. And this is actually just a little over 2 months. It's looking great, but I do not see anything coming out of the middle yet. There we go. And that noise you hear in the background, that's the babies. Hey, Heidi and Ace, say hello. Say hello. Here we are, and we are now probably 3.5 months into growing these Brussels sprouts. And let me show you something. If you look down here, you can start to see, look down there, some little tiny, I believe those are little bitty Brussels sprouts. And I believe that when this starts growing, that all of this green is going to be on the top, and there's this stalk that will appear beneath it, and that's where all the Brussels sprouts will be. Here are the Brussels sprouts in January, and we've had a terrible freeze. We have them all covered up, and tomorrow we're going to uncover them and see what they look like. I took the cloth off after our freeze. They've been covered for about a week. We've been below in the 20s, really, for about a week. And I think they're going to be fine. They just got to perk up. You can see up under here, if you look really close, you can see some little bitty Brussels sprouts. Let's see, look up under there. You can see some way up under there. So I'm hoping that with some sun this next week, we're going to have rain and sun. So hopefully they're going to perk up. We are now about 3.5 months growing these Brussels sprouts. And when you look way under here, if you look way under here, you can still see that there are some Brussels sprouts growing. And here's one, look way under there. Look at that little guy. So they're growing, but they have a long way to go. It is now March 1st, and our Brussels sprouts are getting bigger. So let's look up under here and see, and hear the babies in the background. They see me. Look at that. Oh, that's looking so good. And from what I can read, now this stalk, see, here's the top of this plant. And this little stalk up under here is going to start growing more and more out of the ground. It'll get several, 2 or 3 feet tall from what it looks like. Up under here, I think we've got some. Those are much smaller under there. Let's look over here now. Look up under. Look under there. Looky there, we got Brussels sprouts. Woohoo! It's now about the end of April, and as you can see, our Brussels sprouts are not doing quite what was expected. So we've trimmed the leaves up, and you can see up under here that these little Brussels sprouts have basically kind of rotted. So now we're going to research and see what went wrong. So after a lot of research, let me show you what I have found as far as why I think we did not do so wonderful with our Brussels sprouts. So first of all, up under here, I've been showing you all the little Brussels sprouts, and when those first start to appear, then what you really need to do is you need to start breaking off these branches. You can just take some little scissors and you can just break them off, but you want to do that so then you don't have so much moisture forming up underneath here where the Brussels sprouts are. So we should have done that probably about in January when we started seeing all those Brussels sprouts appear. The next thing was they just got too wet. And so by breaking off those branches, and part way up, that prevents a lot of moisture from forming, and that would have really helped a lot. And then the next thing was we noticed, as you can see, we've got worms
that have attacked these. So we should have put something on to prevent the worms. And then the last thing is the facts are that probably South Texas is not the best optimal place to grow Brussels sprouts because they do need a lot of cold temperature. But we're going to go ahead, we're going to try it again in the fall and follow all those things that I talked about. So I hope this has helped you learn a little bit about Brussels sprouts. Be sure and leave in the comments anything at all, any advice that you have, and be sure and check out that next video that's popping up. I'll see you there in a few minutes. Bye-bye.